Hey, I'm Razz. UFC Fight Night 186 is tonight. It's Saturday afternoon, and another fight's been pulled from the main card due to COVID protocols. This is MMA I. Okay, so Angela Hill, Ashley Yoder's been pulled from the main card. I think they're backing it up to March. Ashley Yoder was a last-minute replacement for that fight. Didn't get a full camp anyway, so maybe this will work well for her. I had a horrible week last week. I went 1-5. I didn't have a good feeling going in. I feel I could go for anywhere from 0-6 to 6-0. But through the magic of editing, I was able to keep that to myself. But I was all over the place, and I decided this week I was going to spend a little less time thinking about it, because this is the first time I've ever done this. So to put my opinion out there ahead of the fight cards each and every week has honestly changed the way that I watch the fights, and it changes the way that I've approached fight night. So I'm going to try and relax a little bit this week. UFC 186 is tonight. I'm just going to get right to my picks. Opening fight, pretty good fight. Alex Caceres against Croom. Kevin Croom's a good story. Fought on a lot of the smaller organizations, worked his way to the UFC. Dominant win in his first fight. Then it got overturned because he used marijuana. Stupidest rule in MMA. So he's a great story. Unfortunately, I'm going to side with Bruce Leroy, one of the best names in MMA. Alex Caceres. I think his experience is going to win out. The next fight is another fight that was affected by COVID. It's a rematch, Pedro Munoz against Jimmy Rivera. They just moved this one back from a couple fight cards ago due to COVID protocols. At the time, I was picking Pedro Munoz. I don't know what switched this time, but for some reason, I'm feeling Jimmy Rivera. The next fight, Montana De La Rosa against Myra Silva. De La Rosa is the younger fighter, but she's another one that's kind of grown up in the UFC. I'm sort of leaning towards experience this week, so I think De La Rosa is going to get it done. As I mentioned earlier, I had a horrible week last week, so I spent a little less time on my picks this week. And also, I stayed away from what everybody else was thinking. I didn't want anybody influencing my opinion. So once I made my decisions, right before I came down here to film this, I checked. And it seems as though I'm kind of going against the grain on a few of these fights. I'm okay with that. Co-main event, Magomed Ankalaev against Nikita Krylov. I know that Ankalaev is a up-and-comer, highly touted prospect, blah, blah, blah. I didn't realize that Krylov was only 27. It seems like that guy's been around forever. One of them's Russian, one of them's Ukrainian. I don't know if there's any kind of geographical animosity between the two. I'm just leaning with the Russian. I think Krylov's going to get it done. Which brings me to the main event, Yair Rozenstruik against Ciryl Gane. I guess in this fight, I'm just going to kind of take my own advice, and for the second time, I'm going to flash back to last week when I said, and I've always had this diehard rule that when in doubt, don't pick the French guy. And I'm picking Rozenstruik. Ciryl Gane seems to wade in a little bit. I think he's a little bit susceptible to a counterpunch. That seems to be one of Rozenstruik's strengths, counterpunching, and he's just got a shitload of power. So I think he's going to knock him out. Everybody, enjoy the fights. Should be a good card. I'll be back early next week to face the music on these picks as I try to claw my way back to 500. I'm Razz. This is MMA I. Magomed Ankalaev. The next fight, Montana. My decision here to go with Rozenstruik.